Hello everyone, welcome to a module on the cardiovascular system. In this module, we will talk about heart sounds and splitting of the S2. Okay, so let us first start with this graph that is actually a very important graph which contains a lot of information, that is the Vickers diagram. Okay, so let me just explain you in brief what does this graph mean. It has three different parts, that is atrial systole, then we have ventricular systole, and we have ventricular diastole. Is it clear? Now there are multiple graphs, such as first one is the this graph. You can look at this graph. This is the pressure in the aorta. So how does the pressure in the aorta vary accordingly? There are different phases of ventricular systole, which include isovolumetric contraction, rapid ejection, reduced ejection. Then there are different phases of diastole, which include isovolumetric relaxation, rapid ventricular filling, and reduced ventricular filling. In this graph, we also see a left ventricular pressure graph. Then there is jugular venous pressure. Then there is ECG or the EKG, and we see the heart sounds. Okay, so in this module I will just discuss about the heart sounds. Okay, now there are primarily two types of heart sounds, that is S1 and S2. These are the normal heart sounds present. Okay, so when does S1 occur? S1 occurs when there is mitral or tricuspid valve closure. So whenever there is closure of the mitral valve or the tricuspid valve, that occurs usually in the isovolumetric contraction phase of the ventricular systole. Okay, so it occurs in the isovolumetric contraction phase, or just in the beginning when the left ventricle contracts. At that moment there is closure of the mitral and the tricuspid valve, and hence we hear the first heart sound, that is S1. Is it clear? So we hear the first heart sound in the isovolumetric contraction phase. Now when do we hear the second heart sound? The second heart sound, that is the S2, is heard when there is closure of aortic or pulmonary valve. Okay, so when there is closure of pulmonary and aortic valves, we hear the second heart sound, that is S2. Okay, and S2 is heard just in the beginning of diastole. So when there is the end of systole and just in the beginning, that is in the isovolumetric relaxation phase, we hear the S2. Now we hear the S1 in the mitral area, and we hear the S2 in the aortic or the pulmonary area, which is in the left upper sternal border. Okay, so it is heard loudest in the left upper sternal border, and the S1 is heard loudest in the mitral area. Now I'll talk about mitral area, tricuspid area, pulmonary area and aortic area in a different module, so please check that out. Now talking about S1 and S2, these are the normal heart sounds that we hear. S1 occurs in the isovolumetric contraction phase and S2 occurs in the isovolumetric relaxation phase. So we know about S1 and S2. Now let us talk about S3. Now, S3 is usually in the early diastole, that is just after isovolumetric relaxation phase. You can hear a S3. Okay. Now, S3 occurs during rapid ventricular filling phase. So, when after isovolumetric contraction or isovolumetric relaxation, after isovolumetric relaxation, the blood rapidly enters the left ventricle, correct? So when the blood rapidly enters the left ventricle, there is presence of S3. Okay, and it is best heard at the apex of the heart, that is in the fifth intercostal space in the mid clavicular line. Okay, it is in the fifth intercostal space in the mid clavicular line, and it is heard when the patient is in the left lateral decubitus position. Okay, it is heard when the patient is in the left lateral decubitus position. Is it clear? Now it is usually associated with increase in the filling pressure that we have already discussed. Example in mitral regurgitation, aortic regurgitation, heart failure and thyrotoxicosis. Okay, and more common in dilated ventricle. So when there are dilated ventricle, there is increase in the filling pressure, and hence S3 is heard prominently. Now this is all about the pathology part, but S3 can also be heard in physiological part, that is in infants, young adults, athletes and pregnancy, that is normally in children, young adults, athletes and in pregnancy. Is it clear? So we discussed about S1 that occurs in the isovolumetric contraction phase, the S2 which occurs in the isovolumetric relaxation phase, and the S3 which occurs in the rapid ventricular filling phase. Is it clear? Now let us talk about S4. If there is presence of S4, then it is definitely a pathologic case. Okay, S4 cannot occur physiologically. It is usually in the late diastole. Diastole also continues in the atrial systole part. So it can occur in arterial systole. Now S4 is usually present during arterial systole or late diastole, either of it. It's just the one and the same. It is also called as arterial kick. Now it is best heard at the apex in the left lateral decubitus position. Now why is it so? S4 occurs because of higher arterial pressure. Okay, so when there is increased pressure of the left atrium or the right atrium, there is S4. Okay, it is associated with ventricular non-compliance, that means hypertrophy. So when there is excessive hypertrophy of the ventricles, the compliance of the ventricle decreases, there is increase in the atrial pressure, and hence it leads to S4 production. Is it clear? Now the left atrium must push against the left ventricular wall, and hence it is abnormal if it is palpable. Okay, if it is palpable, then it is considered to be abnormal, and S4 is not heard in any age groups in physiology. Okay, so it is a pathological case. Now talking about S2, okay, S2 has two components, that is the aortic component and the pulmonary component. So it is a split. Now talking about the splitting of S2, there is physiologic splitting and white splitting. First, let me just talk about physiologic splitting. In physiologic splitting, there is a normal delay during inspiration. Now what is it? We can hear S1 during isovolumetric contraction phase, and we can hear S2 during isovolumetric relaxation phase, correct? Now, when we hear S2, we hear S2 in two parts, the aortic component and the pulmonary component. Okay, so there is a split in the S2. This is called as splitting of S2. Okay, now during a physiologic state, that is during expiration or inspiration, there is a normal delay. There is a normal delay during inspiration as compared to expiration. Is it clear? Now, physiologic splitting, when there is inspiration, there is a decrease in the intrathoracic pressure, correct? There is an increase in the intrathoracic volume, which leads to a decrease in the intrathoracic pressure. Am I clear? Now, due to decrease in the intrathoracic pressure, there is increase in the venous return. Now, since the venous return increases, there is increase in the right ventricular filling, which leads to increase in the right ventricular stroke volume and leads to increase in the right ventricular ejection time. So, these three are connected. If there is excessive venous return, that means a lot of blood is coming back to the right ventricle. There is increase in the right ventricular filling. Now, since there is more blood in the right ventricle, there will be more stroke volume. If there is more stroke volume, then there will be more time required to eject the blood, and hence there is increase in the right ventricular ejection time. Is it clear? Now, due to the increase in the right ventricular ejection time during inspiration, there is a normal delay during inspiration, because the pulmonary valve closes a little later as compared to the aortic valve during expiration. Is it clear? Now, there is decrease in the pulmonary impedance. That means there is a capacity of pulmonary circulation increases. Now, we all know that there is decrease in the pulmonary impedance. That means the capacity of the pulmonary circulation increases, and due to this decrease in the pulmonary impedance, it can also occur during inspiration, which contributes to delayed closure of pulmonic valve. So there are two major reasons: decrease in the pulmonary impedance and decrease in the intrathoracic pressure. Okay, and the result is delayed in the closure of pulmonary valve during inspiration. So this is the normal splitting. Now let us talk about wide splitting. Now it is an abnormal delay. Now what happens, it is majorly seen in the delay of right ventricular emptying. Now conditions that delay the right ventricular emptying, example pulmonary stenosis or right bundle branch block, can lead to a excessive delay. Okay, it causes delayed pulmonic sound, especially on inspiration. Now inspiration is again associated with intrathoracic pressure and decrease in the pulmonary impedance, but there is even a split or a increased delay in expiration. So both, even during expiration and inspiration, there is an excessive delay. Okay, and an exaggeration, it is actually the exaggeration of normal splitting, which occurs during delay of right ventricular emptying. If this time increases drastically in cases of pulmonary stenosis or right bundle branch block, we can see wide splitting. So we have talked about physiologic splitting and wide splitting. Now let us talk about fixed splitting and paradoxial splitting. Okay. Now when does fixed split occur? It majorly occurs during atrial septal defect. Okay, I've already covered atrial septal defect in the congenital pathology module, so please check that out. Now during atrial septal defect, there is a left to right shunt, okay, which is actually present. Now this results in increase in the right atrial and right ventricular volumes, correct? Now when there is an increase in the volume of blood present in the right atrium and the right ventricle, there is increase in the flow through the pulmonic valve. That means a lot of blood flows through the pulmonary valve. Now since a lot of blood flows, there is a delayed pulmonary valve closure. Okay. Now the best part of fixed splitting is there is no delay between the expiration time and the inspiration time. Okay. So the delay is fixed between both the expiration and inspiration. Is it clear? So you don't hear a different sound when the person expires or inspires during fixed split or an atrial septal defect. Now let's talk about the last and the most complicated splitting, that is paradoxial splitting. Now hearts in condition that delay aortic valve closure. Okay, we have only talked about pulmonary valve delay now. Here also the pulmonary valve is delayed due to increase in the right atrium and the right ventricular volume. Even here there is a delay in the pulmonary valve closure. This is a normal exaggeration. Again, the pulmonary valve closure is delayed, but in paradoxial splitting, there is a delay in the aortic valve closure. Now, when does aortic valve closure delays? It can delay during aortic stenosis, left bundle branch block. Okay. Now, normally, the normal order of seminal valve closure is reversed. Okay. We all know that S1 occurs first, then there is A2 and then there is P2, correct? But during paradoxial splitting, the A2 shifts away and it shifts to this position, okay? Do you understand? So the A2 from here shifts to this position. So the P2 is normal, the pulmonary valve closes normally, but the A2 is shifted because of delay. Is it clear? And hence it is seemed like a paradox or a paradoxial splitting. Am I clear? So on inspiration, the P2 closes later and moves closer to the A2. So when there is inspiration, we all know that P2 closes later because of normal intrathoracic pressure decreasing and all that. So it moves towards A2. Is it clear? And hence it is paradoxial, eliminating the split. On expiration, the split can be heard opposite to the physiologic split. That means the expiration is just the opposite of physiologic split, but during inspiration, the P2 is heard closer to A2. Now why is that? So the A2 is shifted and there is no defect in the P2. Please remember that. Is it clear? So this is all about heart sounds and splitting. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please click on the like button and do subscribe to this channel. Let me know in the comment section below which topics do you want me to explain. Thank you.